sit, whatever is most comfortable. We'll try to be very mindful of your time and get through this as quickly as possible so everyone can get on with the rest of their activities. So before we start, I just want to thank all of you for being here. It means a lot. Thank you very much for your support. It's why we do this. So we really appreciate all of you being here. I know it took effort, and we notice and we appreciate it. Thank you. I wasn't going to start with saying thank yous, but I guess I kind of have to. The last couple of weeks have been really, really exhausting, and I have to thank my husband for putting up with me and for being my backbone in all of this and for helping me through it and for allowing me to give as much of my time as I do to all of you. So thank you.
Who said I do nothing? I think they might be right.
I want to say thank you to all our members, including the ones that couldn't be here today. Fiona wanted everyone to know that she would be here, but she is actually putting together the Folk and Fiddle Festival in downtown Sydney, and she's at the bandstand this morning. Michelle did text me to tell me that her toilet's plugged and she's waiting for the plumber. Yeah, I know, right? I want to say thank you to our board of directors. Me, Cindy, president. Gary's over here. He's a director at large. We have Bob sitting over here. He's our treasurer. And I also want to say thank you and hello to Teresa, who can't be with us today because she has a personal challenge going on down in Texas, and she would be with us if she could. And we also want to send our heartfelt thanks and love to her, reaching out to her and Jim, going through a bit of a difficult time right now. So just want her to know that her village is behind her, and Rob's recording so I can send this to her. So miss you guys. Also want to say thank you to Patricia. She's my Rob. She allows Bob to spend as much time on pickleball as I do. So thank you. As well as I want to acknowledge our dedicated admin. Please, if you could just stand up and let us know how many. We're not all here, but I see some here. Judy, Neil, Darcy, Cheryl, Jen, thanks too. Thank you all very much. Shelley, Matt, Corinne. Look at these ones not standing up and being known. Thank you. Did you? Okay. All right. Thank you all for these. These are the ladies that work and men that work tirelessly behind the scenes. Thank you. Thank you very much. And Gustavo's here today. Thank you, who does all our boot camps and has done a lot of lessons. I wanted to say thank you. We should say thank you to Ken for giving us Langtree Walk. This is Ken. He's also an official club member who I don't think has figured out how to use open sports yet. But that's
This winter.
this winter. Anyways, and that is everyone. Okay, on that note, we'll get started. So apparently there's someone that's not here named Robert. Robert's rules. I know nothing about it. Teresa told me I must observe them. This is our annual general meeting, and there are protocol rules that we have to follow, meaning we need a minute taker, and I apparently need to announce that I'm the chair of this annual general meeting. That'd be me, Cindy. Patricia is our minute taker, and I need to determine that there is a quorum, which is 5% of our members, and we have more than that, and we will let you know that we have 203 active members as of today. A quorum would be 5%, so we need 11 to vote, and we need 8 to pass with 3/4. So I think we'll be okay here today. That's that. Gary's going to be our counter. We have a very short agenda here, and I need to, what is the word that I need to do? I need to suggest we approve it. Could someone?
I'll second.
Second? Thank you. Sorry?
Move to accept the agenda.
Move to accept the agenda. I would like to move second. Thank you very much. Okay. All right, and then I was going to get that far, and then I was going to sit down and let Bob come up and just address our financial statements for our year end. Our year end ended December 31st.
Last year.
And our financial statement is posted on our website with all of the minutes, and Bob's just going to tell you a little bit about our finances.
Okay. So kind of fitting that we're having our first AGM here. We're right next door to the lacrosse courts where everything started. 2 years ago, Corinne's nodding her head because she was one of the originals, and there's a bunch of people who were kind of originals. And in the early days, it was up to Cindy or myself or Barb to go to the Central Sandwich website and book the courts, either here or the posh courts. And then at the end of it, we kind of had to pass the hat and hope that we had enough to cover our costs. Sometimes it worked out, sometimes it didn't. Moving forward, Cindy had a vision and had a lot of drive to formalize things a little bit better. So we ended up with still the Facebook group, and then we had oh, jeez. I'll just pass these around and you can read them and save the time. Thank you, Luke. So Cindy managed to formalize it a little bit more, in that we still had the Facebook page, and we had the Meetup app, which was pretty clunky, and you had to use PayPal or you had to use Interactive transfers to Cindy, which I can't imagine the time and effort that took to reconcile. Cash probably as well, to try and figure out how much money we were bringing in and in turn pay. And as things moved forward, and Cindy did a lot more work to formalize the club, we moved to Open Sports, that is connected to Stripe, which is in turn connected to our bank account. So that whole thing, I think everybody agrees that it runs pretty seamlessly, and I can see, the money flowing in on a regular basis, and it's that aspect of it is not too onerous and time consuming. So as Cindy mentioned, our fiscal year ended December 31st, 2023. The club was officially inaugurated as a nonprofit society in March of 2023, and we kind of got rolling May when we had events in Open Sports, and then the money kind of started rolling in from that point. So at the beginning of the fiscal year, we wanted to do a few things. We had a few objectives. One is we needed to have a reasonable financial cushion. Fiona's an accountant, and she suggested that we have at least $4,000 in the bank. During the summer, it's not too bad to manage, but we get into the winter months, we have the larger venues, and they require upfront payment, and it's usually a substantial amount, so we needed to have a cushion to be able to cover that. We also wanted to have a consistent cost per play of $6 across our venues, regardless of what they cost, and there is quite a variable there. I think it's no secret that if you want to rent the posh court or the lacrosse court, you can certainly do that on your own. You go to the Central Sandwich website, you can rent it for $5 an hour per court, and we charge $6 per person as a fee. So we do make a lot of money in the summer. We have 4 months in the summer to try and make some money, and that kind of subsidizes the 8 months in the winter where we have higher costs for our venues. And we also wanted to have a membership fee that was reasonable. It's $45 now, and the club gets 30 of that. The rest of it goes to Pickleball Canada and Pickleball BC. So by the end of the year, we met all those objectives. We were able, obviously, to cover all our facilities costs. We were able to buy some nets and dividers, storage boxes, and those kind of things. There's some other, and lots of pickleballs. We go through a remarkable number of pickleballs. We buy them by the hundreds, There are some other small frills. We had some subsidies of the tournaments and small subsidies of some of the lessons that we held last year. And we ended up with still a very, very healthy reserve at the end of the year. So at the end of last year, of course, we were all, particularly on the board, focusing on the potential opportunity that was Stellies. And Stellies would have come with a pretty substantial upfront cost. To us, the ongoing cost would have been minimal. So we needed to kind of build towards that, and I think, as everybody knows, at the 11th hour, it didn't happen. But that's okay. We will certainly move on from that. At the end of the year, we ended up with around $12,000 in the bank. The one expense that I should mention, this is all, by the way, on our website. The complete financial report from the accountant is there, so I don't want to go in any detail. If anybody has any questions about it, I can certainly take you through it. But the one line item that really kind of stands out is our stripe expenses. There are two options that we offer for payments that everybody can do an e-transfer directly into the club bank account, and there are no costs to us for that. If we do the open sports, if you do an open sports registration and you do stripe payment, with the small $6 payments, the way their fee structure works, it ends up being 10%. So they charge us 30 cents per transaction, and then there's another 5% adder on top of that. So it's 60 cents for every. It ended up being $1,800 in expenses to the club last year. So it's fairly substantial. I can see every month there's more and more people that are moving over to direct transfers to the club's bank account, and that's really happening. We're kind of a 50-50 split, roughly, and hopefully towards the end of the year we'll have a higher proportion of people that are doing e-transfer to the club account. Since the end of the year, we've kind of carried on that trajectory. We started from square one at March last year. We had a few $100 residual from our previous play. We ended up with about $12,000 in cash in the club, and we've kind of carried on that trajectory through this year so far. The biggest challenge, I think everybody knows, in being a pickleball player, particularly on the peninsula, is where the heck do you play? It is a huge challenge with venues on the peninsula. So our club is new, we're growing, we have a lot of enthusiasm, we have a great leader here, and we want to be part of the solution on the peninsula. So that's why we're continuing to build the reserves in the club. That's about all I had to cover. Like I said, if you have any questions about the detail, the finances of the club, I'd be happy to go through them with you. The accountant's report is on the website. But it's been a fantastic year. Thank you everybody for your participation. Just getting out and playing helps the financial health of the club, so thank you.